And a wonderful morning to you. This is Newsline Live. We're broadcasting from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo, and pursuing this whole issue of leadership. We've got here with us a member of the United National Party, and I believe it's from an electorate that's not too far out of Colombo, just round the corner. In fact, he's right here with us, the son of a veteran politician himself, but he's here. Harshana Rajakarna, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Faraz.
Thank you so much for coming on Newsline Live.
Thank you for inviting.
And we want to ask you, what is going on? Today there's a meeting to be held of the United National Party's parliamentary group at 10 o'clock, and then another one at 3 o'clock, which is the UNP organizers, I'm told, and that is with the current leader of the opposition, Sajid Premadasa. What do you hope to achieve? Let's start with the first one, the 10 o'clock one.
10 o'clock one is the usual parliamentary group of the UNF, actually, not only the UMP. We usually meet up before the parliament session starts every week.
Right.
So this is one of them. We start parliament this week, starting at 1 in the afternoon. So we'll be discussing mainly on parliamentary affairs, the itinerary, what is in the agenda for this week.
Right.
And then Honourable Opposition Leader Sajid Premadasa has called a meeting with the UMP organisers to discuss about the current situation, and I think it's the first time that he's meeting all the organisers at once after the presidential election.
Now, can I ask you about this part of it? Now, meeting with the UNP organisers, what input does Sajid Premadasa have in the appointment of organisers?
He's the deputy leader of the UMP.
Yeah.
He has no sole authority to appoint.
That sole authority belongs to where?
Usually it is done by the party leadership.
Right. And
maybe conveyed by the General Secretary.
Right. But once you are appointed as the organizer, let's say for Dompe,
okay,
right, then do you automatically get onto the working committee?
No.
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 So that's a different criteria.
That is totally a different
What
criteria.
is that criteria?
There are there's a percentage where the party leader has the authority to appoint.
Right.
And also there are usually, say, when you're in the provincial level, the opposition leader of the provincial council or the head of the provincial council. So there's a system there as well. Yeah.
Is it pretty well laid out in your party's constitution?
No.
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 It's not. Because I detect from your answers that there is you're struggling to explain it without ambiguity.
No, not that I'm struggling, but there's a complicated, I would say.
Yes, that's what I mean. You're trying to explain it to somebody who doesn't know how complicated it is.
It is very complicated, right. But for this year they have not appointed the whole working committee, because usually if on the 31st of December the term ends.
They have not appointed?
Yeah,
Who
the party
is they?
leadership and the party...
so there's a leader, the General Secretary?
That's right.
Right. They're a team, aren't they?
Of course.
Necessarily they have to be a team, the leader and the secretary. So why do you think it is by design that they have not appointed the whole working committee?
No, not necessarily that it is done, the first thing, the new year,
right.
But I believe that it should happen as soon as possible.
How intense is it? Reading about it in the press and listening to the on the box and on radio, it appears that there is an intense effort to get the leader of the UNP to see that enough is enough, to see that this is
Can
the
I have
dawn.
a cup of tea?
Please do, please do.
Jones
Please
tea,
do.
isn't it?
Jones tea. It's yes. They'll be very happy when you have that tea. I like it. I like the whole aroma of Ceylon tea, which is another thing. I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. But talking about the UNP leadership, how intense is this effort to replace the leader or to get yourselves a new leader, and why do you need a new leader? I mean, why not stick with the guy who's been there for 25 years?
The UMP leadership, Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, has himself, he himself has mentioned that he's not going to contest in 2025.
Why? Because he's told.
That he has made the decision and
Right.
he has announced it, and he did announce it last week when we had the meeting at Shauketaly as well. And I believe that it's a matter of time. He not that he wants to hold on to it, but he wants to hand it over. But it's about the timing. He believes that it should happen maybe after the parliamentary election.
Can I ask you, how long have you been in politics?
10 years for this year.
In Parliament?
5 years.
Right. So you worked for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Ranil Wickremesinghe was already the leader for 15 years before you came along.
I agree.
So what's your level of frustration? I mean, I asked that question because you've been a member of a party that has been the losing side for God knows how long.
Let me put it this way. I don't like to talk or openly criticize my leader.
No, I'm not asking you to criticize. I'm only asking you
Yes.
to tell me the level of your frustration in terms of your aspirations as a young, youthful man who the world was his oyster, but you chose to remain in politics. Or to come into politics.
I believe that it's time that he hands over to my preference, Sajid Premadasa,
Right.
the opposition leader. But I heard that Mr. Karu Jayasuri is playing a role, trying to settle this matter, which I think is great. I think Mr. Karu Jayasuri is a fine person to get in between this situation, try to solve it, and hopefully he's able to do it. Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe is, I've openly, clearly told my thoughts in the group meetings, every group meeting that we discuss internally. So I believe that this week, most likely, that we will be able to come to a final decision. Anyway, I'm happy that our presidential candidate got the opposition leadership, which is very important, to be the opposition leader in the parliament of Sri Lanka. And also, we are forming an alliance, and the the associate parties that is in that alliance have also recognized and requested Honorable Sajid Premadasa to be the leader of the alliance.
I'm going to ask you in a moment what it is that Sajid Premadasa has and why you want Sajid Premadasa to be the leader of your party. But before that, I'm going to have a little sip of my Jones tea because, you know, it's really nice. And coming all the way from Quickie Central, you know, this is Sri Lanka's gift to mankind.
Absolutely.
Tea. It's brilliant. Wonderful. Now then, why Sajid Premadasa then?
Sajid Premadasa, I mean, he has the experience. He has been in parliament for 20 years.
Right.
He's youthful. He's young. He's even with 20 years in experience, he's just in his early 50s.
Yeah.
So he has the energy, the strength.
He's got the vision.
Absolutely, absolutely. He has excelled in whatever the portfolio he has got, especially the last portfolio that he had. He has shown that he's capable.
Do you feel that the UNP has a chance at the next parliamentary election?
I think we have a very good chance if we get our act together fast and we
How fast is
mobilize
fast?
ASAP,
Like tomorrow.
like tomorrow. Yeah,
How
and
committed is Mr. Wickremesinghe to the same?
I believe it will happen this week. Some final decision will
Really?
take
Like what?
this week. I hope. Fingers crossed.
Will Karu be the interim leader?
There's a quite possible chance.
What is this business? What's so prickly about Sajid being given it? So why is RW saying, "Oh, give it to Karu, but I'm not giving it to him"? Why? What is this?
I don't know whether it's a personal thing, but I believe that there's another side to his thoughts as well. I think he wants somebody who can have the whole group together, and he
From
probably
what we
believes.
can gather, there's only very limited opposition to Mr. Premadasa.
Yes, absolutely. Like I openly told, my first choice is
Yes.
Sajid Premadasa,
Yeah.
and he openly mentioned that even if he becomes the leader, he will not sideline anyone.
Yeah.
And he will get everybody together, and I believe that he will. He's very smart, and he has absolutely nothing against a particular person.
Well, he may have against any person who is sort of tainted. Because in conversations with Mr. Premadasa, it becomes very clear that he is committed to a clean governance.
Of course, of course. So
Is that part of the problem? Is that why some people are, it is in their interest to promote disharmony at the top? Because they're frightened as to what, they're frightened of Mr. Premadasa's stated aim of clean governance.
it could be a reason as well. It could be many other reasons. Their own political agenda, their own aspirations, and
Yeah.
some people would probably want to be the leader of the UMP, or they might think that they want to be the leader of the UMP, and they are more suitable than Sajid Premadasa.
What about you? Do you have aspirations for political leadership?
I just started my career
10 years ago.
10 years ago, 6 years in the provincial council, 5 years, almost 11 years now, so 5 years in the parliament. Let's work there slowly.
All right. Now, the whole country is focused only on one thing, or so it seems. You can't open your phone to any of the messaging groups and so on. Everybody seems to be listening to tapes. There's a fascination with tapes or something or other. But the big picture is that the country's economy is in a mess. There has been always this sort of belief. There's some sort of belief that the country's economy is best in the hands of the UNP, the party that is committed to the cause of a free economy and therefore sort of capitalism. By the way, you can send your messages on 0772 300 305. We encourage you to send your questions. 0772 300 305, card on the screen right now. So there's this belief that the UNP knows a thing or two about running an economy. That didn't come to pass in the last government. The economy is struggling. And what are your plans when you capture power in Parliament?
In the previous 5 years when we were in government, I think we had a huge burden of debt.
Yeah.
And we had no choice other than increasing taxes,
Yeah.
which again was an issue when it comes to the business community.
Yeah, well, to collect it was another problem.
Yes. However, the sentiment was also quite negative then.
Right.
And overall picture was also negative, but we had no choice. But at the same time, I believe that we should have, I had openly told this in most of the parliamentary group,
Yeah.
that we should have tried to cut down some expenses.
Right.
May and that would have also helped. But we managed to do quite a lot of development, especially rural development, and we managed the economy. But like you said, now we are in a quite a mess.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. So we have a huge payment to make.
Yeah.
And on top of it, the government income has reduced of about 500 billion rupees with the tax reductions. So in the short term, I think it will be very difficult to manage this economy. And usually in a government, the most amount of development is taken place in the last 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
And this year we lost that. All the rural development that was supposed to happen in the last 3 months was stalled.
Yeah.
And there was hardly any development. So the money circulation again, even this year, stalled. So the contractors couldn't do the work, and their payments were stuck.
Right.
So
Now then, I've got a. I really must read this question. I think it's wonderful. I'll read it out exactly the way I've received it. It says here, IEO, what expertise in running the economy? The UNP robbed the Central Bank of Sri Lanka twice, in 2015 and 2016. Please ask your guest whether he received funding from PTL.
no, nothing like that.
You didn't?
No.
How many calls did you make to?
Oh,
Bon Baba?
I have known him for a long time.
So how many calls did he make?
I would have made many calls, but nothing to do with because I was not even in Parliament when the bond issue was there. So 2015 February was the thing. I went to Parliament in August.
But you were a member of the COPE after that?
After that.
Right.
After that. So
did he call you during that time?
So this bond issue and me is completely different because I was not even in Parliament.
But you did, your name came up in some
Yeah, just because I know him. If you, after this program, if you go and murder somebody, it's not my fault, is it?
Unless you told me.
Exactly.
Unless you egged me on.
Exactly.
All right. So the answer is, can I have a straight answer? Did you get any funding from PTL?
No. No.
Even if your security people get a check, which went and cashed? No. All right. Okay, legal. I'm just asking the questions, right? Okay. So, no expertise. The country's economy is in a big mess. The tapes seem to be engulfing the thought process. SLPP are quietly probably getting on with it and securing, the grassroots, engineering everything, getting them going, getting the engines running. And the UNP can't even sort out who's the leader going to be.
No, I think...
Practically, how is this thing going to work with this leadership council or Karu in between? Why? One old fossil being replaced with another.
No.
It's frustrating.
No, if everybody agrees on Mr. Sajid Premdas is the best. If not, Mr. Karuja still will work together. People want to see a change, and I hope that this matter will settle this week. And we have started our
if not, what's if not scenario?
No, we have started already.
Is what happens if Mr. Wickramasinghe does not give up his leadership? What then?
No, I believe that he will. I believe that he
What,
will
before
come
the
to
parliament?
some sort of a arrangement with which will satisfy the majority of the UMP parliamentarians. I
You're
believe
confident?
so. I'm quite confident about
On a
that.
scale of 1 to 10?
What is most important is that Mr. Sajid Premadasa
Yeah,
is the alliance
yeah.
leader, and the alliance associate political parties have recognized him as the leader of the alliance, and we will be going for elections with the alliance. So, I think the mechanism is all structured. Now it's a matter of going to the grassroots level.
I think I'm going to need a paracetamol at this rate. Look at these questions that's coming in. Why is RW given a room in Parliament when he's merely an MP, a MP? Why is the Speaker withholding the bond report from the public? He says they found the government in debt. You say that means they found the government in debt when they took over. So, does that mean they had to rob the bank? Remember the public? I don't know the name.
Talking about Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe getting
Office in
office
Parliament.
in Parliament.
There's no standing orders. I've checked that.
No, most of the political parties have,
Yeah.
including JVP, Muslim Congress, and so on.
You know, Harshna, can you see my point of view? We at Newsfirst, we're trying to encourage transparency, accountability, and responsibility. In that whole thing, if you examine any of these matters that we've been talking about, it is all to do with a departure from due process. Ranil Wickremesinghe asked for the system of issuing bonds to be changed. In court he says, well, I didn't expect him to break the law. He told Mahendran that there should not be a conflict of interest. He met the Bond Baba later on, and he didn't raise that issue because apparently he was told that I'm concentrating on my other business. So the Prime Minister of this country believed that. Didn't ask his secretary to check up. So a complete dereliction of duty. And that is why the people are saying, look, what do you mean? Can they run the economy? They can't. They couldn't even get this right. They raised the interest rates artificially by nearly 3%. Can you imagine what it did to the rupee equivalent of our debt?
Faraz, I agree with most of the things that you mentioned, but now there is an investigation going there, so I hope that will happen.
Like they investigated Lasante's death. Like they investigated the attack on my group's main control room in Panama.
So I hope these things will happen. You know that's and we will fight for that.
I'm glad my chairman's not holding his breath. I'm just waiting for these.
And regarding the forensic report, yes,
yeah.
I believe that there has been a lot of malpractices even before 2015, and that's the reason that forensic report is very important. And we have mentioned many times to the Speaker to make it public, and I believe that he will, and I believe that he should, because then people will understand what has really gone, and the public has spent 900 million rupees preparing that forensic report, and definitely that has to be public. Yes.
Is there some sort of deal between sections of this current government and the UMP leadership to withhold the...
No, I don't think there's anything to do with the UMP leadership, because all this is, most of this will be, most of the things that has happened in 2015 and beyond is a fact, is a known thing. But what people don't know is 2015 and before 2015. So it can't be anything to do with UMP leadership
This
or
is
anything like that.
typical. This is a typical UNP response, because when we talk about Sri Lankan Airlines and the Commission of Inquiry, they started back to front. Instead of starting with present day, they're going back to historical. What historical? You're not going to change anything. What's the good of looking into bonds that were issued in 1997 or 2000? All of those bonds and bills have long expired, and there's no earthly reason. You can look at it to learn a lesson, yes, but isn't it better to learn a lesson from the most current, the things that's hot, warm? You know, it's like having this tea now.
No, no. This is not the 70s or 80s up. You know, it's a short period of
The
time that
bond started in 1997 under A.S. Jayawardena, this
right.
current system.
Yes.
Right? And that is the system that has been in place. Even it is now even still the same system, apart from that brief departure when Mahendran listened to Ranil and decided to go on a solo misadventure which cost all of us money, you and me too. I'm paying 3% more. I resent that. Why should I? But I'm forced to, right? So this whole blessed thing is a big shambles, and we've got a guy who portends to be a Democrat, and he leads all of y'all. It's up to y'all to get rid of him now. Honestly, I read somewhere that RW has got a huge security detail, and I scratched my head thinking why. It's got 2 bulletproof cars and God knows what else, apparently costing about 15 million a month. The thing is this, who's going to attack him? It may be some housewife who can't fill her basket up with the money that hubby's given her, and in frustration she may chuck a few tomatoes on his head. I don't know. That's the kind of risk, not some terrorist threat. Why? Come on. A huge security detail for what?
You should. I mean, okay.
The president of our country has reduced his entourage. They even stopping at traffic lights. It was hilarious. The other day I saw the foreign minister stuck in his normal car, right, in his normal car, on the Lotus Road roundabout. He was stuck in traffic. And I thought it was hilarious. He didn't have any guards, nothing. He was stuck in traffic. And then you have this man who's only an MP. How many people have you got? How many policemen have you got?
4. Not all at once, but
No,
we
okay,
all,
you
each and every MP, not only me.
A pool of 4.
Pool of 4.
Yeah, so did you come with somebody here today?
Just one, yeah.
Right, so you come with one guy.
Yeah.
Why does RW need 10 times more than, or 15 times more?
No, what I'm trying to say is that he has been the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
And he has requested, that's what I heard from the press conference that Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa mentioned yesterday, and the government has provided this security. I believe that there should be a certain amount of security because he's the Prime Minister who was there
in peace times.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
No, not
in
only,
peace times.
not only, but the numbers and all that is decided by the Defence Ministry. So you should be asking this question from President Gotabaya Rajapaksa himself.
I have already written to him.
Okay.
Look, shall I just put this in a nutshell? Harshana, isn't it time that the Thomians ran this country again? The royalists have made a right royal mess, haven't they?
I think a combination of royal and St. Thomas's would be great because Sajid has gone royal and St. Thomas both.
The only traitorous part of his career is that. But, Ashkarna, I'm being told that I must finish off. So we'll finish off. I do wish you well. Will you send us a text at 10 o'clock and tell us whether this thing is going to happen or not going to happen?
No, we won't be talking much on
You'll be
the
listening to Ranil.
Now we'll be talking about the agenda for this week.
What is that? What is at the top of that agenda?
This whole week
Yes,
agenda.
but what is at the top of the agenda?
You're still talking about the party leadership?
Well, what else is there?
No, we will be talking about it at the
You can either
appropriate-
listen to tapes, to Tapegate, or you can listen to News First and find out if there's going to be a change.
If
at the
there's
leadership.
anything, I'll let you know.
You call us
I'll
first,
let
right?
you know.
Right,
Sure.
excellent. Harsha Rajakarna, thank you very much, and we'll let you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed your cup of tea. And that's the way, folks, it was on your program on Newsline Live. Take care, have a great day ahead of you, and of course, God bless.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.